Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
Season 6, episode 59 of Bracket Bid Steal. I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Lidskin. Jonathan, it's the first Saturday night pod of the year.
Dude, great to have Michael Derosa back. And, what an awesome day of college basketball and sports in general.
Yeah, great day of college basketball. Also, some college football happened today. Not that we really care.
I kind of care, but not for the purpose of this show.
We do, but not for the purpose of this show, as we mentioned. Mm-hmm. So we had a lot of carnage. We had a lot of stuff in the sport today. It was really notable from the very start. We had two matchups between undefeated teams at home courts today at noon, starting at the same time. And both of them were won by the road team. Duke goes into Breslin Center and beats Michigan State. Iowa State goes into Mackey and beats Purdue. Jonathan, which one of these would you like to start with?
I think that if we're going to go with the more noteworthy result, we probably have to start in West Lafayette.
Yeah, okay. Jonathan, Iowa State 81, Purdue 58. The largest home loss by a number one ranked team. I saw that somewhere. That's wild. That's wild, Jonathan.
Yeah, I think we knew the Iowa State team was really good coming out of Players Era, obviously, right? But nobody goes into Purdue and punks them like this. And it certainly helped that Iowa State had a terrific day shooting the ball, but holding this Purdue offense to under 0.9 points per possession is a tremendous feat in itself. And, we talked, Sam, on Friday about how, there's really no good way to play defense against Purdue when it comes to ball screen coverages. Like, Braden Smith will torch you in any way he wants. Well, he turned it over 6 times today. He had 8 assists, but 6 turnovers is very uncharacteristic for him. And nobody else on Purdue really stepped up.
I think that a lot of our analysis yesterday, and this is kind of caveated on the, hey, Tamin Lipsey, is he going to play or is he not going to play? He plays 8 assists, no turnovers, gives them 32 minutes of great defense as well. And when you pair Lipsey with Killian Torre in the backcourt, it kind of just gives you 2 defensive monsters out there. And with Jefferson patrolling everything else, Buchanan in the post, you really have a team that is that has the ability to overcome really any sort of schematic disadvantage that Braden Smith may put in that direction. And we could also say, hey, Purdue's 4 for 18 from 3. Fletcher Lawyer goes 1 for 5. Purdue missed a bunch of good looks in this game. They could have been up big in the first half because if they'd hit their shots, but they didn't. And Iowa State did, and you get to give that credit there.
It has been nearly 5 minutes we've been live, and you haven't cued to your guest once?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Once. Really? Wow. Yeah. No, it's great to be here. Yeah. All right. Whatever.
He's too distracted by the things that he said he had prepared for us.
Okay. When Jonathan introduced Derosa, I thought that was
you talked to me.
I kind of just said it was great to have Derosa back.
Yeah. All right. Whatever.
Michael, how are you doing?
I had a whole intro bit planned, but
whatever. Good.
Not that. We'll scrap that. All right, no big deal. Let's
this is the second time that I've failed you on this pod.
No, but
the first was when I didn't give you the primetime slot.
Yeah. Oh my God! Yeah, your best guest.
Now I failed you. Derosa, you want to host the rest of this pod?
No, I'm a guest.
Derosa, I know who's not winning Bubble of the Year now. It's Fetterman.
You better not. If you fucking give Bubble of the Year to someone else, I'm gonna.
No. It's not going to Fetterman now.
Well, DeRosa's the bubble. We know that.
Yeah, as long, you know what? It's either I'm the bubble this year or the
DeRosa's the bubble. Michael might have two
Bubble of the Year award. It's one of the two.
You are undoubtedly the Bubble of the Year.
I'm I'd be honored to get the award. I don't. I imagine
How
there
do you
are
know
other
who the other
candidates
contenders
very
are?
worthy. But just with this game, to lock back in, Milan Momcilovic, his shot making was tremendous. And Fetterman, you mentioned Tamin Lipsy. I didn't think he really looked like the Tamin Lipsy of old when he's fully healthy. I mean, I think he's like kind of getting back into shape, and he was still good, but like I felt like he was a step slower, just wasn't fully back yet. But even so, he had 8 assists and 0 turnovers. Like 8 assists, 0 turnovers, and is probably the best point of attack defender in the country, I would say, for like just locking down like the other team's point guard. And that really showed as well. And yeah, you mentioned Killian Torrey. He's been excellent this year. Just knows how to knife his way into the lane and was 3 of 5 from 3 today. Josh Jefferson didn't play his best game, but I still think so much of what they do really relies on him. But the fact that he only played 22 minutes and they still absolutely sized the former number 1 team in the country, pretty good. Yeah, this was a dominant performance from Iowa State. This team is for real, and they got hoed in the players era. And I'm glad that they're going to get at least recognition of being one of the best teams in the country rather than not getting the money that they showed up and deserved, but whatever.
Yeah, Milan rocks. Felt like every time I looked at this game, he was making a different type of shot.
A ridiculous like fadeaway. He hit like three in a row, and like that was kind of the thing that like this game was over after that.
Yeah, he did that. Iowa State right now, the number 6 offense in the country, the number 2 defense in the country. They force the most turnovers of anyone in the sport, and they also shoot 44% from 3 as a team. Now that's going to come down at some point. They have their worst offense.
You don't think that Milan's going to shoot 54% from 3 on the season?
I mean, Milan is one of the best shooters in the sport. That's a little bit above his pay grade. So.
NBA player.
Yes. Their worst offensive performance of the season by efficiency was 1.15 points per possession against Creighton of all teams. But that also, a reminder, came without Tamin Lipsy.
So last year, before the injuries started piling up, Sam, you and I were really, really high in Iowa State. But we didn't think they were anywhere near as good as they've played this season.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree. We loved that Iowa State team. Thought they had like a bunch of different ways to score with a bunch of like 3 guards. What I said about that Iowa State team was they had 3 guards that would take over games in 3 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what this Iowa State team has. I think this Iowa State team has clear identity, feels more like the and not that last year's didn't, but like feels more like the Iowa State team, at least defensively, from a couple of years ago when they were the number 1 defense in the sport. I think they force more turnovers. They're just pairing Torrey with Lipsy has been so great. Jefferson's taking a step, and I think they are just, I think, on a different level defensively from what they were last year. Mm-hmm. And even offensively, it feels like Milan has taken just another step, and Jefferson has taken another step, and giving and having Torrey in there gives them another advantage. They don't have like the Curtis Jones type off the bench to kind of do that, but like that's.
I think Bateman and Heisey give them plenty off the bench.
Fucking kidding me? Sorry.
UFC?
Josh Van just won the title because, because he like Alessandro Pantoja went for a takedown. Josh Van caught him and like kicked him and like forced him down, and Pantoja's shoulder popped. 15 seconds.
I'm texting all my friends.
That is, yeah. That wow. They're definitely running that back. Yeah, they're running that back and probably pretty soon. That's crazy. Good for Josh Van. Yeah, that's
Arizona is now up 97-66 on honor.
One thing with this Iowa State team, real quick, is I don't know. I mean, obviously this is the case for every team that if your best player gets hurt, you're kind of screwed. But I think if Jefferson gets hurt, I think it takes away so much what they do defensively, as well as he's been so good offensively that just I don't know if they're even remotely as good without Jefferson. Like, I think he kind of changes really everything they do on both ends.
Yeah, he was even playing some like point forward for them with Lipsy out.
When Lipsy was out, he was the
him as a creator has been a really underrated aspect of that team this year.
Really good passer for a big man. So was Momcilovic too. I mean, Momcilovic isn't like a true big, but like he's tall and can see over defense, and that gets you better shots, which is definitely part of why. Granted, not sustainable, but they're shooting like 45% from three this year.
Yeah, they have guys that can find it really well.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan, you something you said to me earlier today, like, why didn't we see this like before the season? Like, why didn't we see Iowa State?
Yeah.
I still think I was higher than consensus on Iowa State. If you go back to our Big 12 preview, I kind of had to fight Isaac Trotter on Iowa State's ceiling.
Yeah.
Fought him on Milan being an NBA player, fought him on a bunch of other stuff. And that was before like we really even realized how good Killian Torrey was. So I think that's kind of the differentiator here.
I thought him and Bateman could both contribute, but I didn't think that Torrey was going to be one of their higher usage players, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Their next game against Iowa at home on Thursday. Iowa, who is a good team, they are 8-1, 26th in KenPom. Iowa State is a 13-point KenPom favorite in that game.
Bennett Sturts. I mean, who was it that Iowa got whooped by? It was Michigan, right?
Michigan State.
Michigan State, yeah. What they did was they pretty much just had two guys chasing Bennett Sturts all game, and no one else on that team can really create. So
we'll get to Iowa.
Yeah. Now against Iowa State, like if honestly, Tamin Lipsy could probably just do that himself, but if they just have Lipsy and Torrey chasing him around literally everywhere, poor Bennett Sturts is going to be in hell.
All right, let's talk Duke, Michigan State, Jonathan.
Yeah.
The Blue Devils pick up a 66-60 win. The largest lead that any team had in this game was 6. This game was played within an 11-point window throughout the entire thing. It was a really, really competitive back and forth game. Cam Boozer, 18 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists to lead Duke in all 3 categories. He also led them in steals, and he also led them in fouls with 5. For Duke, coming into this game at the Breslin Center, stayed calm the whole time. I thought John Shire coached a really good game, kind of giving them the plays that they needed to, the sets that they needed to late in the game to kind of get their guys going. On a night where they didn't particularly shoot well from 3, they didn't particularly shoot well from the line either, but they were able to hold Michigan State in check on the glass, and I think that was the key.
Yeah, I think I went back and watched. I think I went back and watched a lot of the highlights from this, and I saw clips on Twitter too. But it seemed like it was a complete chess match between the two coaches. I think that Shire going into that 3-2 zone later in the game obviously made a pretty big difference there. But at like the same time, you have Jackson Kohler who's torching them on pick and pop, and Fear as well. He didn't shoot well, obviously. Still made plays. What intrigued me the most, though, is like how Duke was able to go into Michigan State to their place and play a game that Michigan State probably wanted to play. Just a very gritty, physical basketball game, and win it that way. I think that says a lot about the team that Duke has, and maybe about the style that like Duke is going to win with this year. It's not they have all these shot makers and like elite offensive players all over the floor, but they're going to win differently from how they did last year, and it doesn't make them not an elite team as they showed today.
And I think on the Michigan State side, I think this is a game that kind of raises their stock, in my opinion, even though they lost. Like, I thought they played well enough to win this game, just bounces didn't go their way. But like making this Duke team take more 3s than 2s think that's kind of a good thing. It kind of shows your paint defense was the priority, and you really kind of nailed that. Like Cam Boozer, I mean, he was very good in this game, but he wasn't getting a ton going on the inside. And then literally, if it wasn't Boozer, no one else was really getting inside. Foster had 3 2-point field goals. No one else had more than 1. They really did their job there. And Fears didn't shoot it well, as Jonathan mentioned. He was 0 for 10, but old school point guard type stuff, 13 assists, 1 turnover, really controlled the game. You had Carson Cooper played fine. Cam Ward he wasn't fully healthy, and he wasn't a guy that I think he was a guy they wanted to try to get the Boozer matchup, and he just wasn't healthy enough to take that on. Only played 11 minutes in this one. That was kind of disappointing. But Jackson Kohler, 4 of 6 from 3. Apparently he's a sharpshooter now, considering he has been in their 2 biggest games. And freshman Jordan Scott off the bench, I thought was kind of terrific in this game. He has earned more minutes going forward. Kurtang didn't play a lot. Scott was just, flat out better today. I would be surprised if he's not getting legitimate minutes going forward the rest of the season. He's a guy that has really shown he was good in the Arkansas game, and he was very good today. He has proven that he is really worth getting a ton more PT. I think he's going to be a guy that's really going to progress throughout the rest of his career.
Michigan State's deeper than I thought they were going to be.
Same.
At the start of the year.
Yeah, the freshmen are good.
Especially because Caleb Glenn, is it Caleb Glenn?
Yeah, Caleb Glenn got hurt in the summer.
Yeah, and it was this was a team that we didn't think was deep before, and then he got hurt, and it's ooh.
I thought he was going to be one of their couple best players.
Yeah.
And he still might have been, but, they figured out how to play without him.
Yeah. Izzo's still just working his magic, man.
Yeah, this, I kind of, realized it today. This feels a little like some of the Virginia teams that Tony Bennett had before they got DeAndre Hunter, where, they're going to prioritize keeping you out of the lane and, pick you apart systematically offensively, even if it's not the prettiest stuff.
Yeah, no, Michigan State's really good. Don't come out of this game thinking any less of them. I think they went toe-to-toe against a really, really good Duke team, and Duke came out on top. At the end, they just made 1 or 2 more plays, and I think that's what it comes down to. I know I sound like a losing coach when I'm saying this. Hey, they just made a couple more plays, and I think that's one of the great things about college basketball is that, hey, not every game has this sweeping revelation from it. And I think that's maybe not one of the great things about college basketball. One of the things about college basketball that we have to kind of discuss. That, hey, obviously Duke going in, winning on the road is big. But Duke's a really, really good matter is they've now been able to kind of close this game out. They were able to get the win against Florida in a really close one. So Duke in close games so far has passed the test. Remember, this was something last year that they did not. That all four of their losses, they had a chance to win it at on one of the last possessions, and they didn't. And I think those were the only games that they played where they had a chance to win it on one of the last couple of possessions, and they lost all 4 of them this year. Obviously, I don't think today is one of those types of games, but obviously similar in the fashion of it was back and forth the whole way. Duke's a really good basketball team. Michigan State's a really good basketball team. At the end of the day, Duke made. What was it? 1, 2 more plays?
Yeah.
Isaiah Evans is doing a tremendous job of, hitting the one exact 3 that we need him to in each game. He has not shot the ball like Isaiah Evans this year, and I think he'll break out of the slump eventually. He's a great shooter, but he's done a really good job the past week of hitting the one we absolutely needed him to in both of those games. Yeah,
definitely. I think that Duke's next game is against Lipscomb, who actually having a decent year right now.
If Duke beats Lipscomb, which they're 26-point favorites on KenPom, so we presume they will. I believe John Shire gets to 100 wins faster than Tommy Lloyd and Mark Few, who are the most recent to get to 100.
Okay. I'll have more on Duke being undefeated a little later. That's kind of the one of the big things I'm saving, some stuff on undefeated teams. Then we've got 2 teams that aren't undefeated, but one team that is very much looks defeated. Last night in Nashville, Gonzaga was ahead what was it? 17-2, 20-2, something like that.
And the 2 points came on free throws. It was one guy stepped up to the line, made one. Then the next guy stepped up to the line and also made one.
Kentucky in this game made 16 field goals. That's it. They made 16 field goals.
I would have said 6.
It did. Yeah, it felt
Take
like
the one off there.
Yeah.
Sam, can I point something out?
Of course.
It feels like Kentucky's trying to avoid a players-only meeting. Like, the fact that they haven't had one yet is honestly a little concerning to me.
That's a good point. Something I'm going to say about this game is, so this was on at the same time as all the MAC games, and I had it on like one of my side screens as I had the MAC games on.
Yeah, I mean, this was over like pretty quick.
And I looked over and it was like 21, and it was like 13-0, and I'm like, okay, we're good. Don't need to keep an eye on this game. So I didn't watch it. So someone tell me what happened.
Yeah, I was sitting in a high school gym last night watching a game, and I'm keeping up with the game on my phone, and it was very apparent, quickly into the game that Kentucky has a lot of issues. Like, you can put up with the Louisville loss on the road, big spot for a Louisville team that, is getting back to prominence.
And they fought back late in that game too. Like they punched back.
Michigan State, that was very weird, like a weird press conference, after the game. So that one, I think, was when the concerns alarm bells maybe started to sound. Then they lose to UNC at home, a game they, absolutely could have won. They blow it late. It's not good, but, you maybe could talk yourself into, just didn't swing their way. They didn't shoot the ball well. But maybe, they fixed this on Friday. This was like the final straw, honestly. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy to say that on December 6th here, that a blue blood program who I had ranked, I think, number 3 in the preseason.
I think I did too.
Their season based on what they want to accomplish is over. Like, every goal that they had in front of them when the season started on November 3rd is probably gone. They don't have the team. They don't have the roster. Mark Pope does not have a roster that can execute what he wants to offensively. And, even defensively now, they've started to dip a little bit.
So I had Kentucky 6th coming into the season. I believe that's my. I don't think actually no. I don't know if that's my preseason rank or if that was my after week 1.
I thought they would be able to. I thought the system that they had in place would make some of their transfers better shooters than their percentages indicated last year. And obviously, not having Clayton's hurts, but we knew that they weren't going to have him for a little bit.
That injury was so weird. That should have been a sign to me. Just when there's always some weird injury stuff with the team, that's a sign there's something wrong. And the fact that all summer it was, he'll be back by October and he's at full strength. And then we get to October and it's like, oh yeah, he's not coming back till January.
Yeah, we still have not heard. Kentucky has been so bad to this point that when Jaden Clayton's is coming back is the last thing I'm thinking about right now with them. Yeah. It just it doesn't concern me. There are so many issues that Jaden Clayton's will not be able to cover up.
Yeah.
Here.
And that should have been the sign to me that shit was weird and I didn't take it, and that's on me. But I mean Jelon Lowe was back in this game, and I really think they're a completely different team when he is actually playing, because you take Ortega and Aberdeen off the ball, and those two guys are substantially worse when they have to be on the ball.
Correct.
It is definitive gap stuff that they are worse, but one of them has to be on the ball because for some reason on a $22 million roster, you didn't recruit a backup point guard. I don't know why this trend of coaches believing they didn't need point guards came to be this offseason. All those teams have fallen flat on their fucking face, and you get what you deserve at that point.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't give Jasper more of a chance when Lowe was out to play point.
I don't think that's in his game.
I don't know. I don't know if it is either. I see him more of as a 2, but
In the Georgetown
I thought they
exhibition
would have
game,
given him
he
a
tried to
chance.
be on the ball a little bit, and he was bad.
Jalen Lowe has a 33.6 true shooting percentage right now.
Yeah,
on the year.
That's bad. Yeah, they
And, and what's crazy is they need his playmaking.
Yeah,
so badly right now.
Yeah, and I mean at center spot, because you're without Quayton, Garrison hasn't. He's honestly been pretty bad. Like at this point, he's been bad, and so they're starting Malachi Moreno, who's just not really ready for this.
Moreno's good.
Yeah,
He's good,
Moreno's
but I don't think he's ready to be a starter on a Kentucky team at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean he's not the problem here.
Yeah, I would agree, but I also don't think he I think you respectfully, when you looked at this team in the offseason, you expected them to have a better starting center than Malachi Moreno.
So I would
yes, but he's not. He that's not his fault.
We're on the same page.
I've never been a huge Brandon Garrison fan. So my vision for the center rotation here was you have a veteran in Garrison and a talented freshman in Moreno. I kind of thought those two could hold serve until Quayton's got back. Mm-hmm. And when we were coming down the stretch in February or early March, Moreno would be their backup center.
Yeah. Here's a take. At this point, if they're going to continue to be this bad, let's say they lose to St. John's and then who's Indiana. Let's say they lose both.
Yeah.
Just hypothetically speaking. Why would JQ come back?
And blow the year of eligibility.
Yeah. Or if he's going pro, why would he risk
draft?
Why would he risk re-injuring his ACL? Right?
This would then be, if that happened, this would then be the second time in 4 years that Kentucky redshirts a guy and he doesn't end up playing a game for them and goes straight to the NBA.
Yeah.
Which would be crazy considering it's 3 different coaches as well.
All right. To the Battle of Orange.
They're still last thing. They're still 19th in KenPom somehow. I'm really not sure how.
So what are they in? Because the net just, or if you guys can pull up Torvik, and you can sort by just this year, but considering they were third entering first 2 games, they were first entering the Louisville game. That preseason must be factored in to some extent, but also they lost to North Carolina, but it was competitive. The Michigan State game was actually not competitive, but Louisville, they were able to come back late, but they had gotten down 20, and then a little bit of garbage time kind of helped them.
They're 33rd in Torvik without preseason.
Yeah, that seems more accurate.
If you go just since November 11th, which was the day of the Louisville game, it is. My computer's being slow.
We are approximately
58th.
That feels right.
We are approximately 33.
Right, one spot below the Belmont Bruins.
We are approximately 33 days into the season, and if you eliminate, preseason bias on Torvik, Kentucky and Seton Hall are separated by 3 spots.
Did you brief side note? Did you guys see? It's going semi-viral. Did you guys see the clip? You don't hear the audio, but you can read Shah's lips because it's Shah. Did you see the audio of what Shah said?
Yes.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
The one other thing about the Kentucky game is the one I think clip that's gone viral from the game is the one where Aberdeen drives and doesn't kick it to an open O-way, and he just practices shooting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's something to blow up about, but the way that this season is going, every little thing is being nitpicked with them.
Yeah, and it's Kentucky. It's always going to be
Jonathan, because it's Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, always body language has been always a guy. I was all in on last season, and I think I was proven correct. And I was one of the millions of people that was he's a lock for. I'm not a lock, but he's going to win SEC Player of the Year. And he has been legitimately pretty bad this year.
That was my preseason SEC Player of the Year, and that was wrong.
Yeah, his body language has been terrible this year. It's been so bad.
I said on the pod yesterday that if Tennessee loses to Illinois after losing to Syracuse earlier in the week, they cede the right to wear orange for the rest of the season. Jonathan, 75-62, Illinois beats Tennessee. Tennessee, in my opinion, has now ceded the right to wear orange for the rest of the season. They should not, in any circumstance, wear the color orange. Go.
What if they beat Texas? Do they get the right to wear orange back?
Beating that Texas team doesn't feel like anything to write home
Well,
about
Texas
right
lost
now.
to Virginia.
So is that a loser leaves town match, or are they both losers that should have left town already?
They've already left. They both already left.
It's very rare to see a Rick Barnes team in the last 5 years, get punked physically like that.
How did this team? I mean, granted, not the same level of Houston at this point, but how the fuck did this team beat Houston?
Houston is doing this like weird thing again, where like they're like gonna pretend like they're not good for the first 2 months of the season for some reason.
Yeah, like
Houston's down to 10 in KenPom right now.
This Tennessee team has not, like, the fact that Tennessee, I mean, they got up 15 on Kansas without DP, and then they ended up losing that game. That was like what the fuck is going on here?
That is, you should not be able to blow a 15-point lead to Kansas without Darren Peterson.
No, like they don't have
And
the
like
horses.
those guys did a lot of growing up in players era, the Kansas players, but you should not be able to blow a 15-point lead to that offense.
No,
without
you
DP.
just flat out shouldn't. And then they lost to Syracuse, and I mean, Fetterman, you definitely watched more of that game than I did, but like to me, it just looked like the better team through 40 was Syracuse, and they just tried to blow that game, but couldn't.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, and then today they just, I mean, I wasn't super locked in on this game just because there's other stuff going on at this time. But again, every time I turned to the screen, it was one of the itches was butt naked from 3 and was nailing it. Tomislav had 2, but I think they were back to back. Wagler's going to be a player someday, and Mirkovic had another 2, and then Big Z, Zvonimir had another 2 threes. Like they just weren't super connected defensively, and this was a take that one, they don't really have a true shooting guard. Bishop Boswell is a guy who he's fine, and he's definitely going to develop into like a really good college player someday. But I think you're asking a little bit much of him now to be your starting 2 on a team that had legitimate top 15 expectations, whether those were just, or I believe, as we all probably agreed on, weren't. And another thing that I think we all agreed on entering the season that really has been proven correct, and I don't mean to be like too disrespectful, but Nate Ament has been bad. He is not worthy of being the 4th best kid in this class when Mikael Brown, Caleb Wilson, Koa Pete were all in the class, and he was ranked above all those guys. Fucking on 3 moved him above what? Cam Boozer? At the end? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's absurd. He just flat out, he just hasn't been good. In any game where he is given a little bit of physical resistance, 6'10", 207 is not cutting it. He's just not physically there.
Sorry to interrupt. There was nothing on any of the high school tape that indicated that he was going to be able to create good shots against high major competition. Nothing.
I don't have like shot quality data on this right now, but in their 4 games against like decent teams so far this year, obviously 3 of them are actually pretty good. Syracuse, jury's still out. Tennessee is 46% effective field goal percentage, and it doesn't feel like there's like a solution to this. It doesn't feel like Tennessee has on their roster.
There's not. Their best offense is offensive rebounding.
Their leading scorer in the Syracuse game was Jalen fucking Carey.
Sam, I'm not going to make you do the reading here of Nate Ament's efficiency stats every single time he plays like this, but he's now shooting 41.3% true shooting percentage against tier A and B teams. Like, I'm sorry, like if your shot creation is going to be these get cut off in the mid range and shoot fadeaways, like. It's not good process, and it's not going to end with good results most of the time.
I have some rim finishing numbers for Nate Ament.
Ooh.
I feel like we're going to be updating this every game. The Nate Ament rim finishing tracker, 44.4%.
Oh, Jesus. 6'10"?
At 6'10".
And if you go to the half court, 36.7%.
Oh my God. Yeah. There's no way an NBA GM or scout is anything is watching this. I'm just gonna say,
no, this guy's not getting drafted this year.
He should. Yeah, he screams. I put it in a Georgetown Discord, so now that's going to be. there
Oh,
for
he'll
him.
get drafted.
You think? I mean,
Yeah, because NBA GMs are arrogant and think they can get the best out of the player.
addicted to potential. Oh my god, addicted.
Either,
to
either that or he's drafted by the military.
I don't think he can. He's too tall.
David Robinson was no. He got a pass.
Aiden Kehoe.
That
He's
people
a-
know David Robinson, Sam. You isolated a lot of your audience there. I mean, you'll get like a hat tip for
Like AJ.
The three. I'm doing some quick math here. In the last 3 games that Tennessee has lost in a row, he is 8 of 28 from 2.
Jesus.
Is that bad?
I think that's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, he has been.
We can't just let this be
9 of 32
bashing.
if you include the Houston game.
We can't just let this be Nate Ament bashing on every podcast. But like that's kind of where it feels like we're going with this.
His Ken Palm comparisons right now, some of the notable ones are like 2022 Jabari Smith, 2016 Jaylen Brown, 2017 Marcus McDuffie. Like that feels like disrespectful to those guys, honestly.
Oh, I completely agree.
Like Jabari had his struggles, but man, he was better than this.
Lidskin, you guys both do a full top 100 of your own prospects. I don't do it. I just look at a guy and be like overrated, underrated. Where did you guys have, or Lidskin, where did you have him meant?
I can pull it up real quick, but I want to.
I didn't do like.
I want to say 23.
Damn. Yeah. Aging pretty well.
He was. I was like, I have my misses. I was really low on Caleb Wilson, and I have been as wrong as can be about that. Yeah, I meant at 21.
Yeah.
And I felt very confident about that.
Yeah. It was just that 149-20 game he had in, I believe, a DMV Classic that really, like, against Dematha, that had people like oozing about him.
Yeah,
and he skyrocketed after that, and he just kind of was living off that.
I remember, like, I remember watching Highland play Lehigh, who, that team played a lot of like smaller guys. They had a lot of guards and smaller wings, and like he couldn't get 2 feet in the lane against them.
All right, we've got to move on. Arizona, Auburn. Arizona 97, Auburn 68. This is the most convincing Arizona performance.
Yeah, quite easily the best they've played this year.
Yeah.
Like I know they had their 3 big wins coming into this, but like this is a leave no doubt game.
Yeah, I still kind of think Auburn's pretty overrated nationally. I still think people kind of like respect them, even though the teams they've beaten, to me, it's Oregon. I don't know if Biddle played in that game, and if he did, he definitely wasn't 100%. And that Oregon team without Biddle is legitimately horrible. St. John's, who is not good, and NC State, who I have said all offseason will continue to say that team is not good at all. It's not a well-constructed roster. I don't know why people were oozing over that team.
I thought they were going to be a lot better defensively than they have been.
Van Allen Lubin can't fucking guard anyone.
No, you're right. It was complete oversight by me.
Okay, I would like to say the thing that I said in this game that was like the key for Auburn. I said Sebastian Williams-Adams was the key for Auburn. He picked up 2 fouls in his first 3 minutes of this game. But like the first 2 minutes that he was in the game, before he picked up the first foul, Auburn was on a 9-0 run.
Yeah, I like the kid a lot. There's no doubt Auburn's a better team with him on the floor, but something tells me that's not going to be the last time that happens this season.
Yeah, just was the type of game that they need him to be more mature than he is at the moment for what they are as a roster. And he's just not there right now. He's really good. But I don't want to blame them losing by 30 on Sebastian Williams-Adams. That's not why they lost.
No.
But I think it goes to show that hey, they went 6 of 17 on layups. Arizona is full. It has so many big bodies around the rim. They made life super difficult for Auburn. Keyshawn Hall was dreadful. dreadful, like terrible in this game.
Is
did not-
So there's Arizona right now is the number 8 ranked offense and the number 9 ranked defense, and they're a top 10 offense, like being 363rd in like 3-point attempt rate. And I'm just waiting for the first team that tries to zone them this year and just make them hit threes.
I mean, UConn tried a little bit of zone, if I remember correctly, but it was just they couldn't because you were able to offensive rebound against.
Yeah, with no Terrace, you couldn't rebound against those guys.
Yeah, like zoning them is like you can. They have a bunch of.
It's a lot less simple than I'm making it right now.
But you just want to see the look. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want to see someone try it.
Check something here. I want to check Arizona.
And just two quick thoughts on this game before you guys take over here, just because I didn't see too much of it. One, the duo of Koa Pete and Jane Bradley is just so fun. Like they're really, because they're good on both ends too. Like really good defensively, both of them. Really enjoy that. And yeah, you guys mentioned this is the most convincing performance. I agree, especially because you have enough guys that can hit perimeter shots that it gives them enough space to operate on the inside. And two, I just want to call a shot right now because you mentioned it with Ament, and that led me to drafting the tweet. Sebastian Williams-Adams will be playing college basketball next year for Miami, and he will be very good at Miami.
Ooh.
He's from Houston, right?
Yes.
The greasy theory because the John Lucas.
Oh, yeah, Jay Lucas is locked in Houston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Jay is a Texas guy. He's very plugged in.
Didn't he run an AAU program in Houston?
Yeah, I mean that's the Sheldon Henderson connection too.
J3, yeah.
He's from Houston. Jay Lucas is from Houston.
Yeah, and then John. The team is JL3 in the AAU team in Houston after John Lucas.
Is that is that who SWA played for?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They routinely have like really good prospects.
Yeah.
They're
always so tough, and it just fits the identity of that Miami team.
They never have like a team that's like good enough to win Peach Jam, but like they're always a team that you look up that they'll be like, they'll be in Peach Jam, they'll go like 10-6 in the regular season, like that, and they're like they don't play like how you think an AAU team plays at all.
They're good enough to beat the champion, never good enough to be the champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
The lowest rated, the team that had the lowest 3-point attempt rate last year to make the NCAA tournament was Norfolk State. The team to make the NCAA. What did you say?
What did St. John's have then?
St. John's was second lowest. 31% attempt rate from 3. Arizona's 26.2. Like,
I mean, I imagine to an extent when you get some physical resistance, they're gonna have to take more threes.
But who's going to be physically resistant for this team? Like
schedule, let's see.
They put up 93 points on Florida,
Houston, theoretically
attempting 5 threes.
Honestly, December 20th. Granted, this team has underwhelmed me this season. Often. San Diego State could give them a bit of resistance there in that way. That would intrigue me. Let's see.
There will be a point at some point this year, Arizona will play a game. They might even win, but there will be a game where like we'll point to it and say like, yeah, there's cracks here. Like someone figured something out. There was a point in Edie's junior year at Purdue, the year they lost to FDU. Mm-hmm. They played a game on like MLK Day or something like that against Michigan State, and Purdue won the game on the road. I think
I remember the game
at the Breslin Center, and Edie had an awesome game, but Michigan State took away everything else. And like we pointed to that and said like, yeah, like this is where teams start to figure them out. There will be that moment with Arizona, and that's not to say they won't be a good team. That's not to say they won't make an NCAA tournament run. But right now, they feel unbeatable, and at some point they will feel beatable.
Two things. One, 2 matchups I'm watching just so I want to get this point out first. San Diego State on the 20th, and then TCU January 10th. Those are 2 teams that I think
I can't figure TCU out.
They very physical. not skilled.
on the road with
TCU
those
is
wins.
very bubbly.
Yeah.
Except they have the New Orleans loss.
I said this the other day, Sam. They're the most bipolar team in the country.
Yeah, it's just because the defense shows up every single
They-
game. It's just
They
whether or not they
literally
can make
could
a
beat.
shot.
If they get a team
The defense didn't
on their
I don't
home
think they
floor
played
on the
good
right
defense.
night, I think they can beat anyone in the country.
Yeah.
They also have the capability of playing absolutely awful and losing to New Orleans.
Yeah. And then the other thing, what was the other point I was going to make? God bless it. There was another point you had made that I was, oh yeah. Was that the game for Purdue? Was that the game when were they the first team to press Purdue's guards and be like, whoa, they're not ready for this, which led to Matt Painter at the end of the
they kind of just single covered Edie from what I remember, and like just said like, yeah, Braden, Fletcher, all these young guys, like, you're not going to beat us. We're not going to let you do that. And Purdue didn't score a ton from what I remember. And, they were the first team to deploy the, let him get his. And
like that year, Michigan State was the number 3 3-point shooting team in the country, and they were 6 of 19 in that game. They lost by 1. So if they shot the way they usually did, they would have won that game.
Yeah, I am never going to forget Matt Painter at the end of the press conference, at the end of the Big Ten when they interviewed him on the court after the Big Ten title game. And they were like, yeah, well, teams are going to look to press you. What do you think? How are you guys going to adjust to that? Because you've struggled with it all year. And he was like, they'll get the ball off the floor. Who cares? It's a press. It's not that hard. And then FDU pressed him
But what did you want him to say?
That was the most uninspiring conference tournament championship I've ever seen.
I mean, yeah, they beat 39, 49, and 36 in Ken Palm.
And tried to lose
to lose all 3 of those games. Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that Arizona is better than finished product 2023 Purdue.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is there will be cracks eventually, and we hopefully will see it when.
Well, I'm interested to see what those cracks will be and when.
Yeah, agreed.
Indiana, Louisville.
Can be quick on that.
We kind of said it yesterday. I mean, you just don't. Indiana wants to play in shootouts, and you don't want to get into a shootout with Louisville.
Yeah. Well, Indiana also didn't score for the first
about 16 nothing to start the game.
Yeah.
There was I have to do it. There was a fucking Jeff Goodman tweet at the beginning of the game when Indiana went down 17-0, and then Tucker DeVries made a 3. He's like, unlike Kentucky, this one's still a game, guys. And it just wasn't. It's like, what Dude, planet are you on? It's like,
he tried to end Mendoza's season tonight.
What's up?
He tried to end Mendoza's season tonight.
Unlike with those Kentucky guys, this one's actually gonna be a game, fellas.
To give credit to Indiana, they did not go down by more than 19 in this game. Now, read that sentence before the game.
Yeah.
There was one point they made it 8 in the second half, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this was just Louisville was spreading floor, hitting shots, and yeah, Indiana never recovered from the slow start. But I think this was a fine response from Indiana, all things considered, after they looked like a steaming pile of ass against Minnesota. That Minnesota performance was disgraceful. This one, at least there was some element of respectability. Ish. I still don't think the Indiana team's very good.
Look, they were 17th in defense coming in. Now they're 21st, so they only dropped a couple spots. Okay. I think that's going to keep dropping. I do think the 52nd in offense is going to rise.
Yeah, I would agree.
They're 28th in Ken Palm right now. Jonathan, over or under 28th? Will they finish higher or lower?
I'll say lower, but I think that's right around where they will be. I think I had them 22nd in preseason.
28th feels right for this team.
Yeah. I would go higher, 35th, 34.
Okay.
Oh, when I said lower, I meant worse.
See, when you said 20, that's what I thought you meant. And then when you said 22, I was like, all right, he's going the other way. He tricked me.
I always say lower as like worse when I'm talking about rankings.
Yeah, we're same. We're the same there.
Hawaii up 14 right now. 39-25. They just made it 3. 25 seconds left in the first.
35th and like a 7 seed or a 8 seed feels right.
Yeah.
Right now.
No impressive wins right now. But and they'll play
Kansas State.
What do you say?
They beat Kansas State and Marquette.
Kansas State is a joke. We'll get to that. This is a segment that I had prepared before the show, talking about undefeated teams, and we had 4 undefeated teams lose today, and then 6 undefeated teams lose today. Purdue, Michigan State, George Mason, Colorado, USC, and Buffalo. I'm going to kind of go quickly over the ones that we haven't just talked about. George Mason, Virginia Tech kind of handled them. Yeah. It looked like Virginia Tech was the better basketball team in this game, and I wasn't sure if Virginia Tech was going to look like the better basketball team, and that's impressive for them to do so. Obviously, at home gives them that edge. George Mason, you mentioned how well they'd been shooting the ball. They shot 7 of 21. Virginia Tech, Hansberry was awesome. I think Virginia Tech as a team, like really, really good playmaking from top to bottom. They don't turn it over either. So
I think Tony Skinn went out of his way to really try to stop Abdallas, and
and Abdallas is fine right now, like taking a back seat. The usage rate, this is a guy that we saw in that Providence game. Like the usage rate was 34. He can take over a game, but he's totally willing to sit back. I think he's got some maturity about him. I would like to see him take over another game soon. I would.
With all due respect to Abdallas, there's a lot of players I think that could take over a game against Providence right now.
Yeah, no, I would like to see him take over.
Fabian freaking Lee did. That means anyone can.
I would like to see Abdallas take over another game, but I think today, kind of sitting back, letting Hansberry be the guy, letting those guys be the guy. Jaden Shoot hit a bunch of shots. Ben Hammond was good. Kind of letting them be the guys. It's good. It's good stuff. Then there was Colorado losing to Colorado State.
It's a real shame.
Again, Colorado State. These two teams are 65 and 66 in KenPom right now. Josh Pasquarelli hit 8 threes. He's awesome. Colorado State, 18 of 35 from 3. There will be nights where Colorado State does that. There will definitely be nights later in the season where Colorado State does not do that. They were 4 for 19 against Virginia Tech. They only got to attempt 18 threes in the game against Denver, although they took 44 free throws. That was kind of just a weird game. I'm really curious to see kind of Colorado State as they go deeper into the season. They're just taking and making so many threes right now. They have great shooters, but this is going to be something that, like, hey, there could be some ugly nights if they really miss a lot. As for Colorado, they had the wins over Steinbach, Bliss, Washington, and then over Providence as well. Nothing that I would have considered like remarkably impressive. This was definitely, in my eyes, their biggest test. And they lost by 5 on the road in a really tough environment to a rival. Don't think less of Colorado because of this game, but also never really thought like extremely highly of them.
Yeah, well-coached team. Credit to them. They're shooting the shit out of the ball. When that goes the other way, they're going to get burnt, but very well-coached team. And the freshman, Isaiah Johnson, is a stud.
Yeah,
they gotta find some money because there's like 6 underclassmen here who are really like could be a really good core for them.
So this was the thing I had said on a couple shows preseason. Do we think more money went to the basketball team or went to Colorado hanging up Shadur's jersey? I think you know where my money is.
Probably the latter.
Yeah.
All right.
Hanging up the did Chitter have a losing record in college
Probably.
at Colorado?
I think it was like 13-12.
Hell yeah.
That's
USC loses to Washington 84-76. Hannah Steinbach 24 points, 16 rebounds.
I actually watched a lot of this game.
Hannah Steinbach has played 6 college games. He has 5 double-doubles, and the game that he didn't have a double-double, he had 21, 7, and 6.
He's a stud. And his jumper is so weird looking, too. It's like a set, boom, boom, but he nailed it. I watched a lot of this game. USC was actually up pretty big early. I think they had a 15-ish point lead at half. It was something around there. Mm-hmm. And just towards the end of the game, CBM just really thought he could really go one-on-one against Desmond Claude. And he drew a couple bullshit fouls that were just not fouls. And then he just kept doing it. And he just wasn't scoring. And then they had this one white guy, like Bradsberry or some shit, who like thought he was a stud and then took this like step in 3 with like 28 seconds on the shot clock as like it's a 2-point game. And it's like, thank you very much for shooting that. He bricks it. Washington goes down. I think it was it was either Claude getting in the lane or it was Yates hitting a little floater. And the game just was over from there. Like it just kind of, they went on like a 13-0 run and then the game was just over. Like USC just folded like a cheap lawn chair.
I will also say Rodney Rice is officially on the LJ Cryer timeline. He is.
Dude, we've had a lot of LJ Cryer timelines.
He's listed as day-to-day. He has not played since November 25th. Amarion Dickerson is going to be out for a while. Mm-hmm. That's what I think they said 3 to 4 months. So not expecting to get him back for a while. That's tough.
Are they is Washington phasing Mandiquit out of the rotation? He's played 12 minutes in their last 2 games combined.
Yeah, they had Diallo running point a lot in this game. It was Diallo and then Claude ran a lot of point. It was those 2 that they were looking at.
Yeah, honestly, this was a good Desmond Claude game.
Yeah, I would say part of it is just because of the way USC's roster is constructed. They have 7 forwards on the floor at all times and 0 guards. So I
negative 2 guards.
Yeah. So I just think from that perspective, it's probably not a good game for Mandiquit, but he was in a little bit of the clutch even. And they got the ball. I remember there was one play. I remember it vividly. Claude got the ball up the floor. He went to set. He went to the left side of the floor, and they sent a double. And what Mandiquit was trying to do was they were trying to kick the ball to Steinbach, and then Mandiquit was trying to set a back screen for, I think it was Yates to pop to a corner like a hammer set. And it said Steinbach just caught it and was just like, I could just score right now. So he just went in the lane, drew a foul, hit 2 free throws, and then the game went on there from there.
I'm going to check something quickly.
Real quick, the only thing I have to add is like, if you've watched USC this year, like a couple times in their bigger games, it was pretty evident that one of these games was bound to like slip away from them. Like they have dropped like 12 spots in Ken Palm. They've dropped like 12 spots.
What is that?
My FaceTime keeps going off. They've dropped 12 spots in Ken Palm this year, despite the fact that they were undefeated coming in.
Can I take a shot?
Go.
They missed the tournament. USC misses the tournament.
Okay. I don't think that's crazy with the injuries that they have.
I don't think they're any good.
Okay. Hannah Steinbach. On-off splits, Jonathan. You ready for this? When he's on the floor, Washington has a 58.8 effective field goal percentage and holds opponents to 46.9 effective field goal percentage. When he is off the floor, Washington has a 42.1 effective field goal percentage and holds opponents to 49.4. That is plus 12.9. Plus 11.9 when he's on the floor and minus 7.3 when he's off the floor. That is what?
Stud. That's nearly 20%.
That is over 20%. That is a 20.2% margin swing.
He's stud.
In effective field goal percentage.
Yeah.
Now, part of that is variance.
Mm-hmm.
How much of it is variance? We'll learn. We'll learn.
So, I don't know if you guys.
Even if you think USC misses the tournament, this will be a quad 1 win.
Yeah. Yeah. This one's going to age very well. And, Yeah, Steinbeck's, I mean, he is so good. And they've gotten good, at least in this game, in the bit. I watched a lot of it, so pretty much all of it I saw. And the numbers back it up in the UCLA game as well. Zoom Diallo's really taken a step forward. He was the guy, former 5-star, didn't really fit last year and really wasn't. I mean, granted, just the entire roster of that team was bad last year, so it made the freshman trying to do too much look worse. Yep. He has really taken a step forward. I like what I see from him.
He also had to learn how to become. Had to learn how to become an alpha because on his high school team, he had two pretty decent players, playing with him in AJ DeBanza and Tyron Stokes.
All right, let's move this show along. Buffalo was the last undefeated team to lose today. They lost St. Bonaventure at home. Buffalo's a team that thrives off of getting to the line. They attempted 11 free throws in this game. I don't know how many games they're going to win against good teams when they only attempt 11 free throws. Just good for Bonaventure to get this win on the road. Now 9-1. Buffalo 8-1. So there are 9 remaining undefeated teams. The other 3 that won today. Oklahoma State improved to 9-0 with a win against Grand Canyon. This was their slowest paced game of the year. Parsifala was his best game of the year. He's now had his 2 best games of the year back to back. They played without Victorious Miller, who has, in my opinion, probably been their best player. So that's big for them. So Oklahoma State grabs the win, moves to 9-0. They have played 3 top 100 teams. They beat Northwestern by 5, South Florida by 8, and Texas A&M by 24. Then there was Miami, Ohio, defeated Maine. That was a undefeated versus winless. Maine now 0-11. Miami, Ohio now 8-0. They got 24 points from Evan Ipsaro, who's taken a big step forward for them. They got Ian Elmer going, his best game of the year. He had 16. Peter Suter had 7 assists. Miami of Ohio, 8-0, the last remaining mid-major undefeated team. And then there's Michigan.
You said Oklahoma State was undefeated.
And then there's Michigan, who, for the 3rd game in a row, dropped 100 points. For the 4th game in a row, won by 30-plus against a high-major opponent, albeit Rutgers. But Michigan now up to 36.27. 36.27. It's December 7th.
I would like to alert you guys to something that I found today. So not only is Michigan now favored on KenPom in every game the rest of the season, the next time that Michigan is favored by single digits in a game is January 30th.
Yes, and that is what I would like to get into right now. I made a spreadsheet that has the 9
data.
Yes, we are sorting data. The 9 remaining undefeated teams in college basketball, and the potential for them to be undefeated going into certain games. We have Vanderbilt, LSU, Michigan, Iowa State, Duke, Arizona, Oklahoma State, Nebraska, and Miami, Ohio. I actually have to update the Arizona one with the new data quickly.
I can't believe that the 2 SEC teams that are still undefeated are freaking Vandy and LSU.
If you'll just give me one quick second to...
I'll make a bold prediction. LSU's not undefeated after tomorrow. You can delete that one from your sheet. You don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah. 99, 86.
They're going to get fucking walloped tomorrow.
Does LSU is 26th in KenPom right now and 8-0. I would still bet on them missing the tournament.
They are going to get deleted tomorrow. I am talking so much that they're going to end up winning, and I'm going to actually be very impressed. And then it's going to go the other way after they win tomorrow. That's just how this thing works in the micro world. They're going to get walloped.
So they have, to their credit, they've moved up 30 spots from their preseason rank in KenPom. They have yet to beat a team in the KenPom top 100 though. Their best 2 wins by KenPom rank, Drake and DePaul, with Boston College as a close 3rd.
I just have to talk about this while Sam pulls up the data.
I have the data. The data's ready.
UFC fight. I don't know if he's going to get the decision, but just to me, it looked like Peter Yan just fucking whooped.
Is
Marab.
It's the Marab fight, right?
Yeah, it looked like Marab.
Yeah.
To me, Marab got whooped. It looked like he got whooped. I think he should lose this decision. It should be Yan.
Isn't he like the best fighter
Basketball podcast.
in that division?
What's up?
Isn't
Basketball
Marab like the best bantamweight ever?
Yeah, but it looks like he just lost. So we'll
Okay.
see. Anyway, Sam, you can read off your spreadsheet out.
All right.
We give you enough time to calculate your little data, and then the second you get it, you're like, "Oh my god, we got to get back to podcasting, guys! We got to get back to freaking podcasting, guys! I haven't been sitting here waiting for 30 minutes for nothing."
6 potential matchups between undefeated teams on the regular season schedule. There can be a maximum of 5 of these take place. January 10th, LSU versus Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt. Don't think this is going to be a matchup between undefeateds. Vanderbilt has to play at Memphis, and they have to play at Wake Forest, at South Carolina, and against Alabama. Although they do have a 31% chance of going into that game undefeated. That is not insignificant considering they have to play 6 games until then.
Can I ask a Vanderbilt question to the panel?
Go.
Yeah.
Do we think Vanderbilt can continue this success, or does Vanderbilt scream the team that peaks in December?
Sam?
I mean, I don't know if they're the 8th best team in the country, but I think they're really, really good.
Yeah, the offense is really real. It is very, very real. Mark Byington is a good offensive coach, and I mean the personnel just works.
Yeah.
Tyler Tanner's just a total stud.
LSU has a 14.4% chance of entering that game undefeated.
0. They're losing tomorrow.
They are actually favored tomorrow. They have a 53% probability to win that game.
Yeah, Vegas has that
at 14.4 and 31%.
They're KenPom favored? Are they actually favored?
This is KenPom, by the way. I'm using
4.5. At least when
there is a
4.5.
4.5% likelihood.
It's 6.5 on FanDuel right now.
Oh yeah, so that moved the way it should have.
If you give me Texas Tech +1, I would, either be paying off my student loans or I would be broke.
There's a 4.5% likelihood per KenPom that LSU Vanderbilt on January 10th is a matchup of 2 undefeated teams. That is the second most likely per KenPom. The most likely per KenPom is on that same day in Ames between Iowa State and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State also will have to get through Texas Tech in order to get there. They play Texas Tech on January 3rd. Oklahoma State has an 8% chance of entering this game undefeated. But it's Iowa State that has a 62% chance of entering this game undefeated per KenPom, as Iowa State, Jonathan, is a plus 34.5 after today's game.
Yeah, they're KenPom's got them at 28-3, 15-3 in conference play. They don't play their toughest game before that Oklahoma State game on January 10th is when they go to Baylor.
Yeah, and KenPom has them
before that.
And KenPom has them as a 74% chance to win that game. So a 5% combined likelihood of that game being a matchup between undefeateds. All right. Let's get crazy.
Okay, no.
I might have to be done with predicting certainty that teams aren't winning on the road. I was about to say that there's no way Iowa State wins at Baylor, but after the Canisius incident, I might have to be done with that.
January 27th.
Michael, if you don't know, I said a couple weeks ago on this podcast that there was a 0% chance that Buffalo would win at Canisius, and the game was not close.
January 27th, Ann Arbor, Michigan, Nebraska at Michigan. This game, Jonathan, is 51 days away, and Michigan has a 44.1% chance of entering it undefeated per KenPom.
And they'll stay undefeated through that game unless, for some reason they rename it Pinnacle Chrysler Arena.
Just you wait for Casey Tominaga to walk back through those doors, Jonathan.
They would be 19-0 entering.
He's suing the NCAA. Who isn't?
Nebraska, though, entering that game has a 0.02% chance of entering it undefeated. So that game has a 0.0074% chance of being between two undefeated teams. Then we get to February 7th in Tucson.
That seems right, considering Nebraska's a dog in like 5 games before then.
Yeah, Nebraska has to play Creighton, Wisconsin, Illinois, North Dakota, New Hampshire, Michigan State, Ohio State,
New
Indiana.
Hampshire's got him.
Oh, here you go. This is the one. There is a 0% chance Creighton wins at Nebraska tomorrow.
Nobody
0%.
walks in the Pinnacle Bank. Okay. February 7th in Tucson, Oklahoma State, if they get past Iowa State, which they don't have a high likelihood of doing. Arizona actually has a 6% chance of entering this game undefeated. Remember, it's 2 months away, so it's pretty high. But this game overall, 0.00014%, the least likely of all the options. Let's go to February 21st at Madison Square Garden, Jonathan.
Duke, Michigan? Or no, that's in D.C.
Oh, never mind. Washington, D.C. Yeah. That was on me.
That would not be Madison Square Garden. That would
I
be
wrote down here.
Capital One Arena.
More in DC. No,
This game, Jonathan,
again.
They're playing in Bethesda.
This game, Jonathan, is 2.5 months away. And Michigan has a 9.13% chance of entering it undefeated. Duke a 5.4% chance.
Do you know what could happen in 2.5 months?
What?
A lot of things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that could happen in 2.5 months.
If we get 26-0 Duke against what would also be 26-0 Michigan, that would be the college basketball game of the century.
Yeah, I'd say so. Regular season game for sure.
I mean, the Gonzaga Baylor national title.
That was a regular season game.
Regular season game for sure.
And then Iowa State, Arizona on March 2nd has a 0.0207% chance.
So just to be clear, we're not projecting out a Miami, Ohio, Nebraska NCAA tournament game.
Well, we can't do that. But for what it's worth, Miami, Ohio.
Hey, we're picking Final Fours before the season starts.
But for what it's worth, Miami, Ohio has a 7.2% chance of entering January 3rd's game at home against Akron undefeated.
What is a
but they also played Bowling Green right before that. So,
I mean, Miami, Ohio isn't even.
Miami, Ohio has 4 straight road games coming up.
Miami, Ohio is the 3rd-ranked KenPom team in their own conference. Like,
yes,
I can't envision them staying undefeated for very long.
All right, it's a good segment.
No, wait. Can I recap the segment, please?
Go.
We just did a 7-minute segment on whether or not Nebraska, Oklahoma State, and who else would be undefeated?
Miami, Ohio.
Okay. Can we?
LSU would be undefeated in January. That was your brilliant.
Can we say
all this time on that?
No, but there's a finishing point to the segment.
Okay.
Who will be the last remaining undefeated team? I think we can kind of get into.
Considering you just told us that Michigan has like a 9% chance of like going into the Duke game undefeated.
It seems like Michigan, but I want to see.
I will say Iowa State has an 11.3% chance of entering the BYU game at BYU on the same day as that Duke game, undefeated.
Does Penn State still do that one game a year in like the library?
They do have. I think they have a rec hall game, and they also have
if they have a rec hall game scheduled and it's not the Michigan game on January 6th, they need to change it right now.
This
second.
Hold on. Penn State's rec hall game.
Rec hall, Wisconsin.
Is going to be Wisconsin.
Oh, gross.
They're playing Illinois at the Palestra on January 3rd. By the way, whoever gave Penn State this schedule, Illinois, Michigan, Purdue, to open the new year.
Poor Mike Rhodes, man.
You were wishing death on that team.
Did you see the
thing?
Austin
Mitchell.
Did you see the
Austin
thing?
Mitchell's fine. He's with the women's team.
Did you see the thing of Penn State fans thinking they had found a lead on their next coach?
Yes,
it was
really
just Mike Rhodes.
Dylan Mingo.
That was funny.
But yeah, this is actually a good question. There we go. We finally got to the point of this segment. All right.
I mean, Michigan's tracking is like one of the best defensive teams ever.
The rim protection rates are freaking absurd.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a reason I picked this team to win the Big Ten in the preseason. They were my number 2 team in the country.
Nailed it.
But like, this is like absurd levels that like even I didn't even know they could reach.
Yeah, I definitely think Michigan.
Michigan.
Okay, I don't definitely think this, but I think Michigan will go into the Breslin Center undefeated. I think there's a 42% chance of that happening, Jonathan.
They probably, I think they will too. But like, I also want to say that like, I think Michigan probably loses that game.
I think I said like 2 weeks ago, like, I don't know how or why or what, they will lose that game. I guarantee it.
This is good because I don't know how much, college basketball you guys watched in like the late 2010s, but the Beeline Izzo games, Michigan State, were freaking awesome. And we need that rivalry to be back to the way it was.
And
Duke had 2 games against Louisville before Michigan plays Michigan State for the first time.
Derosa, what were you going to say?
And just looking at Iowa State, like just in the games before that Michigan State game, they have to go at Baylor and at Kansas. I don't think they're winning both of those.
Iowa State's at Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iowa State at Kansas.
And like KenPom gives them a 66% chance to win that game. I give them a 33% chance to win that game.
Yeah, I would go the other way with that, especially if DP's got to be back.
33 might be generous, honestly.
Yeah.
All right. Should we also kind of stick with Arizona on this? Because Arizona's early Big 12 schedule it's a joke.
It's a joke. All their hard games are late.
State at TCU versus Arizona State at UCF versus Cincinnati versus West Virginia. They're not playing like a projected tournament team out of the Big 12 until BYU on January 26th, unless you think TCU is a projected tournament team.
No,
well, I certainly don't think Utah is a projected tournament team.
I mean, the thing here is though,
and then after that, like it's at Arizona State, so like it's.
Yeah. So we're looking at the early Big 10, but like Big 12, but their next game is Alabama.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I don't think Alabama can provide a ton of resistance to them at the rim, which makes that one interesting. Like, I mean, Sherrell's actually pretty good.
It's a team that shoots no threes against a team that shoots only threes.
Yeah.
So fun contrast of styles, but like from a purely analytical standpoint, it's really hard to predict the way that game goes.
Jonathan, you know how I said Penn State's schedule to start the new year was Illinois, Michigan, Purdue?
Yeah.
They have Indiana, Michigan State this week. Coming up. Their first 5 Big Ten games are against like maybe 5 of the 7 best teams in the league.
If we learned one thing, it's that Indiana is challenging because they're certainly not Kentucky.
All right. Whip around things to hit on. Big 5 Classic was today. We let a suburban team win the city championship. That's a crime. Deuce Jones hit a game winner for St. Joe's over Temple. Let's all flap in honor.
You mean Deuce Jones, the guy who what's the word? He didn't go to Butler.
St. Joe's. And he was at LaSalle last year.
Yeah, Butler like what really wanted him, and he said no.
Okay. Anything on Villanova from that game against Penn?
I didn't watch any of it, so
because we couldn't watch it out of market. But they are now 7-1. Have not lost since the BYU game. They have a 9% chance to beat Michigan per KenPom.
I want to point out a game that ended recently. Like it ended while we were on this pod. Arizona State just like absolutely pounding Oklahoma. Oklahoma plays no defense.
That's a little insulting to the word no.
Yeah, guys, I feel like you're being a little harsh. Like we can be a little bit nicer to Oklahoma when your starting backcourt is what? Nigel Pack and who? Nigel Pack, Xavier Brown, yeah, defensive studs out there. Dayton Forsyth off the bench, the little white boy.
Nigel Pack, who has notoriously played for like only good defenses.
Yeah, and Xavier Brown, who is coming from, a school that is just known for really intelligent play.
Speaking of schools known for really intelligent play, Memphis.
Hey, I bet on them today, so I'll take it.
Good bounce back spot for them. They lost their first 4 notable games of the year. Actually, no, they beat San Francisco. So they lost 4 of their first 5.
Who is Simon Majok? Who?
They filled out their roster with like a bunch of like big men that they basically picked up like off of a catalog of like whatever big man they can find in the phone book.
I've watched multiple Memphis games this year. Who is Simon Majok?
He's one of those.
Hey, Julius Thedford didn't play. Good for them.
Yeah.
See, I know him.
Big Simon getting in there.
Yeah.
What? Oh, they have that Abdul Hakim guy who lit up Creighton in that one game.
Yeah.
Hasn't played yet. Well, no, he played the first 2 games this year.
No, he played against Southern Illinois and New Orleans and then sat.
Yeah. They play Louisville on the road. This is like the thing about Baylor for me is like, how many times can we say they need Bodo back? Like how many times can we say that?
Can I give you what's going to happen in the weirdest game? One of these two things. It's either Memphis is playing one of their next 2 games as a 1-possession game. It's going to happen. And then in the other one, they're getting run out of the gym. Like, would it surprise you if they get run out of the gym?
I would not be surprised.
Runs out of the gym, then they beat Vanderbilt.
I would not be surprised if they played both Louisville and Vanderbilt close. Maybe won one of them, and then Mississippi State ran them out of the gym.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
TJ Hines still at Alabama State now. Damn.
Virginia.
This is just, I mean, last thing on Memphis, this is just a fascinating roster. And no matter how their season goes, I look forward to keeping up with them.
Virginia, great day for the Virginia athletic department in Charlotte. Oh, wait, I'm being told that they lost to Duke. Okay. They beat Dayton in Charlotte at noon. They got 25 off the bench from Jakari White. This is the thing about this team. Like, we know how good their best guys are. Ritter's awesome. Malik Thomas is awesome. But they've also got a bunch of guys that come off the bench and can give them production. Chance Mallory and Devin Tillis and Jakari White and Yukanan Yenso as a rim protector. Those 4 guys were their 4 leading scorers today. And Grunlow also had 8. But
Can I say a thing that I really don't want to be true, but is screaming like it's going to be true after today? The last few years, Butler beat a Kansas State team and a Texas Tech team. 2 years ago, that Kansas State team made the Elite 8. That Texas Tech team ended up being pretty good. Was it Texas? I don't remember. And then last year, Butler beat Mississippi State, a team that ended up making the tournament. Mm-hmm. And then like those games, it's like we look back on those and it's just like, I don't know how the fuck that happened. There is a very, very good chance that ends up happening with the Virginia game. We just look back in March and it's just like, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah, there's usually a couple of those results, I feel like, early in the season. This Virginia offense was like predictably very good.
UCLA, New Mexico was one of those, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I guess it wasn't. I guess it wasn't because UCLA didn't end up quite as good as we thought.
Yeah, New Mexico ended up being like semi-decent.
I think we said after that game that could be one of those games, and it ended up not being one of those games.
Yeah, Virginia's offense is like very predictably good. I mean, they space the floor, they have playmakers, and like I like the fact that they have rim protection. So like, you know, you combine good offense with good rim defense, and usually a pretty good recipe to win a lot of games.
Dayton forces a ton of turnovers, and they allow a ton of made threes. It is an all or nothing defense.
I am still not very high on this Dayton.
You know who that sounds like, Sam?
Who?
Mizzou.
Do we know if DP's playing tomorrow? Like, Bill Self's with some weird stuff.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
He's been like,
Bill Self is now ducking Mizzou for like the second time in a decade.
Boise State beats Butler. Derosa, I'll give you 30 seconds.
I thought Boise came into this game with an excellent game plan. They very clearly watched a lot of tape. I believe they had the full week off. The thing for me was they played Ajayi one-on-one with Buchanan. Buchanan really held his own like he did against Darren Williams. And then they ran two guys on Finley off a ton of Butler runs Finley on a ton of screens. They had two guys chasing Finley almost at all times. And they took those two out of the game. And then, they won it with their defense and really playing smart. And then offensively, they went at a 2-5 pick and roll a whole bunch. It was Finley and Traore. And they went at that in a pick and roll. And believe it or not, that worked a ton. Finley and Traore every single time would both stick with the ball handler, and there's just a guy butt naked under the rim. And it's like, well, guys, you do have to guard him at some point. But no, they didn't. And credit to Boise. Very good game plan. And I think there is a chance this is just kind of an inflection point in Butler's season because they exploited every possible flaw. And I'm very interested to see how this Butler staff adjusts. And if you can tell by my voice, I'm not particularly optimistic, but I also don't think it's impossible. This team just has much more talent than the last year's team did because they do.
Johan Traore is a 6'11" center, former 5-star that has a 6.8% defensive rebound rate and a 1.2% block rate. What does he even do?
He has one cool bucket every game where he pushes a big man under the rim and then dunks it. And you're like, yeah, Traore. And then he gives up 3 buckets on the other end immediately.
I just want to point out that the least amount of minutes Javon Buchanan's played in a game this season was the opener against Hawaii Pacific. And the reason I point that out is because it felt like I was yelling at clouds for Boise State to play him more last year, and they wouldn't.
Yeah, he was. If you just look at the box score, Drew Fielder had 69, Dylan Andrews had 20, and then Finley and Ajayi combined for 26, if I remember correctly. Buchanan was the best player on the floor. They were able to initiate a ton of offense through him and just find cutters and then find a one more pass. And defensively, what he did on Ajayi, really good player. If he has one flaw, it's that he settles for jumpers a lot, and Buchanan made him settle for jumpers pretty much every single time.
How were Fielder's facial expressions after he scored?
Very funny.
That's like one benefit of seeing him in person in high school is he has to lead the country in being pumped up to baskets ratio.
Yeah, dude, he had a couple. So he ended the first half on a personal 6-0 run. He got an offensive rebound, scored it, and then he had 2 mid-range jumpers. He was very pumped after the mid-range jumpers.
Yeah, 19 minutes it looks like too.
So. Yeah, 16 points. Yeah, he was able to score on him relatively easily.
Yeah,
but he more than made up for it on the other end himself.
Yeah, the one downside I shouldn't say the one downside, but one of the weaknesses of Fielder is he's never really filled out his frame at all. Yeah. And as a result, his defense hasn't been quite as good.
No.
All right. Seton Hall over K-State. I'm super juiced up to see Seton Hall in person next week at the Rock against Rutgers. That should be a fun one.
Oh my God.
Which did not expect to hear myself say.
Fun.
Yeah, I don't.
You and I have different definitions of fun.
Seton Hall's fun, man. They got energy. They got swagger.
Then again, you routinely attend games between 360 and below teams in Ken Palm. So
you have to.
Who am I to tell you what's fun?
The main thing for me here is Seton Hall's defense is for real. It is real. It's fun to watch.
Its offense is fake.
Yeah, that is. Just because
30 from 3. Nice.
Their offense, they were a real beneficiary of the soft rims in Maui. They were a real beneficiary. But the defense is fun just because, let's say a ball handler gets into the paint somehow. It's a lot of work to get past a Bud Clark, State McRae, whoever. If there's a guy that gets into the paint, every Seton Hall player, there's just an exclamation mark pops over their head like they're a CPU, and they just all fucking run at the rim, and you're not getting shit off there. You're not getting shit. They're all bolting to the rim, and there's 8 hands jumping at that ball. It's awesome.
PJ Haggerty in his last 2 games is 9 for 21 from the line.
Remember when we did our summer, I don't know if this was on air or off air, but we did a summer episode and we talked about what team is going to lose a bye game. And my answer was Kansas State's losing their first game of the year. They didn't lose their first game of the year, but they did lose a bye game. So partial cash ticket.
Yeah, their first game of the year was against a UNC Greensboro team that is now 2-8. So
yeah,
Seton Hall back after this year.
Seton Hall.
State's next game is against Mississippi Valley State.
There were a lot of things I would do. I'll just
Do
leave it at
you
that.
have to fire him on the spot if he loses to Mississippi Valley State?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't make it to the locker room.
No,
They wouldn't let him, dude. They wouldn't let him shake George Ivory's hand.
I can't wait for Kansas State to win that game by like 22 after leading by like 6 at halftime. And then he goes to the post-game interview on the court, says it's a gritty win, then goes and does the cannonball with the students.
they got little baby playing in the locker room. I just want to point out
and Creighton beats them by like 25 next week.
I just want to point out that like Seton Hall's scouting this offseason was just freaking incredible. Like,
yeah,
they bought low on Staten McCray. He's been really good. They bought low on Mike Williams. He's been really good.
Even some of the guys they got
like,
desperate. Like, Jacob Darr is fine.
Yeah, Payne obviously has been an elite rim protector for them. Getting Hines to school early has been unbelievably important to what they're doing.
Yeah, I thought Shaw's evaluations last offseason were bad, and I thought we were trending to that again, considering, I mean, we were probably in the month of May and they had 3 players.
Yeah,
yeah, they nailed these. I don't know how much of it was just like kind of getting, part of it has to have been they just kind of got lucky in a sense, but yeah.
Darr was, when they took Darr, it was like he's moving up. Like
that was with Rivera for me. I remember leaving. God, this is so embarrassing. I think this is when I left the Minecraft movie in theaters. And the first thing I saw on my phone when I popped up was someone giving a quote about Rivera. And it was like, yeah, he could be a really great 9th man on a Big East team. Like, oh my God. All right, Seton Hall, there's your 3rd player.
I think I sent that to Jonathan. Like I think it was Zags.
Yeah, really
very Zags tweet, by the way.
I mean, it's nothing will be worse than the Sam, the Tamba tweet.
That was different.
That like.
All right.
The funny thing is,
Tamba.
Hold on, real quick. The funny thing about the transfer portal with college basketball is there will be like stuff that happens in April and May and even June that like nobody in the world except for like this very small collection of college basketball people will know about, and we will all have the same reaction.
I'm never gonna forget Eddie Lampkin pissing on an Instagram live. that is honestly,
hey, it's a good.
I think that's the lowest moment of my life. Like, really,
it's a great representation of what he then did on the court last year.
Like, truly,
I just hope he doesn't do that with the food in his restaurant. Because yes, Eddie Lampkin owns a restaurant in Syracuse. It is called Big Fellas.
Have you tried it?
No.
You got to. You
have to.
We need a food review.
I would rather eat any other food.
I will pay for your meal if you go there.
I will also. I will double that.
I refuse.
However much your meal costs.
I refuse. If he can't defend a ball screen, I'm not eating at his restaurant. Speaking of Sanjay Tamba, St. John's beats Mississippi 63-58. Was not the most inspiring performance for the Johnnies, who jumped out to a big lead and then this just kind of survived. If this game goes like 5 more minutes, Mississippi probably forces overtime.
This went. Patino tweeted this right before we went to air. Did you see what he tweeted?
No. What he
was it something about the college football playoff format
he
again?
He tweeted a clip of the game and was like, "We need to work on post pressing. Like, this is definitely not what I'm teaching them." As it's just a video of like Darling like walking the ball up the court, and then like he's very clearly like kind of struggling, but like you would think like that's what he's tweeting it as someone who didn't watch much of the game, just the very end. It's like, okay, this is definitely he's tweeting the fact that Darling didn't get them into an offense until 13 seconds. Then he passes it to Dylan Mitchell, and Dylan Mitchell tries to make a skip pass, and he nails Darling right in the skull.
I just saw that as you were saying.
I gotta pull this up.
This is unbelievable.
It's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, so a lot of different lineups for Mississippi in this game. They played, Jonathan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They played 13 guys. That includes Zach Day for 6 minutes, a freshman who I genuinely don't think I've heard his name before, like the last couple days. They played Hobart Grayson 9 minutes. That is a transfer from Division II Ouachita Baptist. I only know that because of Isaac Bourne.
I'm sorry, I just watched the video Patino posted.
And they played Patton Stevens 10 minutes.
That is
which is
that
actually
is the
less than
greatest
played
thing I've
against
ever seen on Twitter.
Against Miami.
Sam is rattling through freaking Ole Miss's like bench warmers. It's a podcast the best. How do not more people listen to Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers at 1:37 a.m.?
Dude, especially when the bubble of the year is on. How can you not?
Yeah, like this Zuby had 8 blocks.
This St. John's team is
Yeah, Sam, quick takeaways from me. Like, St. John's just cannot put together a complete game right now. Their offense dropped like 14 spots in Gen
Both of these teams had 8 assists for St. John's, 9 assists for Mississippi, and both teams had 20 turnovers.
So yeah, I think like many of us were skeptical about the St. John's roster construction. And when they played Alabama, I got a text from a friend. I was at work. I was not watching the game. And he texted me. He's like, well, Zuby stopped trying to play point guard, so that's good. And from that point on, I just have not taken them seriously. Like, I considered the season over at that point.
Yeah, they're 16th in KenPom. Like, that's like at least 16 spots too high.
That feels more fraudulent than Kentucky being 19th.
Yeah. That is a battle of frauds, let me tell you.
That's going to be one heck of a game.
They're going to out-talent a whole bunch of teams. Like, just being... But they're not good.
I will be at St. John's next game.
I stand by it. They will still win a ton of regular season games.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And very likely make the NCAA tournament.
This team's not going anywhere in the NCAA tournament.
They're going to make the NCAA tournament. If you
They're not going anywhere.
Big East, Jonathan, are you kidding me? Who is the third best team in the Big East right now?
Seton Hall. Well, actually, it might be St. John's.
It's probably St. John's.
Then you have Seton Hall set? What are you?
They
Okay, let's play this game then.
No, I'm still okay. I'm not in on Georgetown anymore.
No, not even close.
The Dayton game was bad.
Okay.
The Miami game
might be Villanova.
What's up?
It might be Villanova.
That's the thing. And then just look at those two rosters next to
It
each
also
other.
might definitely not be Villanova.
Just look at the roster of St. John's and the roster of whoever you believe the third best team in the Big East next to each other. And
yeah,
you're
you're right.
Well, is the third best team in the Big East throwing skip passes into each other's heads? Because that
Probably.
seems like the bar right now.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure Creighton's doing that.
Seton Hall might be doing that. We
don't
know.
Creighton is not the third best team in this league right now.
I'm just saying that they might. That's something that they might be doing.
Yeah, I am pissed at myself that I didn't have Creighton lower in the preseason because even with Nick Andrew, I did not think they were good.
If I told you before the season that there would be a high major team throwing skip passes off of each other's heads, give me your top 5 teams that you would have listed.
St. John's would have been in the
Oklahoma
top
State.
5.
Oklahoma State. Yep.
St. John's definitely would have been in the top 5.
They would have been up there. Seton Hall would have been right there.
It would have been Oklahoma State, Texas.
Seton Hall, I probably would have
Rutgers.
put. Seton Hall, I probably wouldn't have put in the top 5 because I would have been skeptical that they would have thrown skip passes to begin with.
That was the exact point I was going to make about Rutgers. There's no way Steve Peikel is diagramming a skip
Good
pass.
point.
Come on.
When was the last? Yeah, like I was going to say Georgia Tech, and I'm like,
the Big Ten is like too technical to be throwing skip passes into each other's head. Except for like maybe Penn State. South Carolina, yeah.
Michi Johnson.
Actually, no. Michi doesn't give up.
Johnson might throw a skip pass into his own head.
Oh my God, that reminds me of a fucking play in the USC game. Oh my God, Chad Baker-Mazara tried to throw a freaking alley-oop from half court to Big Whitey, Gabe Dines. Just shot it. It was just a shot.
I don't know how I didn't say USC simply on the fact that they have 7 power forwards.
Yeah, they have 7 power forwards. 1 power forward's trying to lob it to the tall power forward, and it's just a shot. And then Steinbeck just grabs it off the rim and they just score on the other end.
Gabe Dines is only on that roster so Musk can get the picture with him.
See, the thing about this question is you have to like also ask yourself the question, like, what is going to prevent this team from throwing a skip pass? In USC's case, it's like, can they get the ball across half court?
It's just Chad Baker-Mazara want to do that, or is he too busy trying to flop and draw a foul on the slightest touch?
All right. Speaking of Gabe Dines, his former team, Youngstown State, played today. They held IU Indy to 55 points.
Wait, really?
Ben Howlett has been a collegiate head coach, Jonathan, for now. This is his 9th season.
Okay.
This is the first time he's been held below 60. He's only been held below 73 other times.
Yeah, I kind of thought that IU Indy would just be scoring 80 plus every game, and for the most part they have. But that's a surprising result.
Yeah,
dude, the Horizon League is on crack. Like IU Indy scoring under 60, Gottlieb throwing a chair. What is going on in this league?
Greg Campy's calling out the student section. Hey, by the way, Oakland had a great student section today, and they beat Toledo. Oakland right now, Jonathan, by the way, 69th ranked offense, 318th ranked defense.
No, they're good. They had a really hard schedule early in the year, but
yeah,
they have turned it on and beat some quality teams lately.
Yeah, they won at Montana. That was nice. All right. I had one other thing, I think, on the horizon. Like, oh, yeah. Within the span of like 15 minutes, I watched both Milwaukee and Northern Colorado win a game on a offensive rebound tip-in at the buzzer off of a missed 3 from above the break on the left side. It was basically the same play.
So Milwaukee beat Robert Morris, and then Northern Colorado
beat
South Dakota.
Yeah. And Northern Colorado, by the way, head coach Dalton Connect has Northern Colorado at 9-1.
They're good.
They're good.
They have won 3 overtime games, including today. Their only loss came on a half-court buzzer beater against St. Thomas. Steve Smiley is the actual coach of that team.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Now,
and we probably start giving him some credit.
They also have gotten a lot of 3-point defense variance. That probably changes. Yeah. The next game is against Texas Tech.
Oh, that's tough scene.
You've replaced Fendler so beautifully.
God. We don't have to replace him. We just have to recreate him in the aggregate. That's what he would say.
I just want a brief side note, just because you mentioned the 2 buzzer beater watching. This was Feast Week. I had the Friday, I'm pretty sure. I had money on both Ohio State and St. Louis as both of those games happened.
Oh.
Pitt hit
and
that.
They were at like the same exact time.
Literally within 30 seconds of each other, where Pitt hits this stupid buzzer beater getting up half court because Ohio State decided not to guard them. So then Pitt hits a shot from half court pretty much and hits it. And then St. Louis loses because they foul up 3. The kid makes the first free throw, perfect miss on the second. They kick it to fucking white boy in the corner who had made a shot of their game. He throws some shit up and it's just nothing but nylon.
I was texting one of my friend who's a Stanford fan at the time, and he was like, what just happened?
If you gamble on college basketball and something like that hasn't happened to you, you haven't gambled on college.
Yeah, okay.
And you just have to you just have to be able to sit there and be like, I am betting on 19-year-olds throwing a ball in a hoop.
I have 2 more games that I want to get through. New Mexico 98, Santa Clara 71. I think we can now lay to rest any at-large Santa Clara talk for a moment.
Yeah, that was not a good result.
Not a good result one bit. They were playing without Jake Ensminger. This was Dayton Albury's best game of the season. Uriah Tennant was great too. And Utah Valley goes to the Stroh Center and beats Bowling Green by 11. They were up by 26 in this game. Really impressive. And I remember I talked about how I thought Bowling Green was going to win because they were going to force a lot of turnovers. Bowling Green shot 4 of 24 from 3. Trevin Lionheart did turn it over 5 times, but he had 9 assists.
I'm feeling quite good about my Utah Valley to win the WAC future.
Yeah, Utah Valley and Cal Baptist, best 2 teams in that league. Cal Baptist lost by 6 at Utah today. All right. There are a couple games tomorrow that we haven't really talked much about. Anyone want to get into any of these? We kind of did a little Mizzou Kansas.
If Kansas makes threes, Mizzou's going to lose by 30.
If DP plays, I kind of think Kansas whoops them. I'm respectfully, Jonathan, because I know that's your school. I think this Mizzou team.
No, dude, listen. Like Dennis Gates is a fine basketball coach. I'd even call him a good basketball coach. But the way they play defense is the most frustrating thing to watch that I've ever seen.
The shit they needed to be in that game against Notre Dame late was like Jacob Cruz hitting like 4 threes that just popped out his ass. Like it was absurd.
Like they overplay and gamble on everything, try to force turnovers, and they give up wide open threes, and they don't adjust it no matter who they're playing.
Yep.
All right.
So there's that one.
I thought and what's even more frustrating is like this is finally the year that I think they have the defensive personnel to like actually be a really good defense, and they just refuse to change the way they play defense.
All right, Jonathan.
I think Georgetown can actually keep it somewhat competitive with UNC, and just like if Georgetown, much to what Litsky was saying about Missouri, KJ Lewis has to stop fucking gambling on everything. If he doesn't gamble as ridiculously as he did, I truly think Georgetown doesn't lose that Dayton game. And then we're talking about Georgetown very differently because they get whipped by BYU, a team that's known as a top 10 team, versus Miami, a team that I genuinely think is a top 30 team in the country. But we don't see them as that yet, and there is a very good chance they're just not that. But I would think we think of this team differently. KJ Lewis has to not gamble. And if he doesn't, I don't know what UNC's guards can really create. But I also don't think Georgetown has any possible matchup for KJ Lewis or Henry Visar. So it would just be Keon Evans just doesn't get the ball up the floor.
I am going to kind of zag on Georgetown. I'm pretty out on them at the moment. Just overall,
I'm not out. I'm not totally out yet.
The defense is just not.
I just think that like the defense without Vince Iwuchukwu is a total lost cause right now.
The thing is, the rim rates are fine. Like the rim defense like itself is good. It's just they're gambling so much on the fucking perimeter. Like KJ Lewis just has to just be willing to just sit there and just fucking lock your guy.
Yeah,
it's like not something I thought they would do either.
The defense without Vince went from 93 with him to 108 without him, adjusted defensive rating.
They're gambling. It's solely because they're gambling too much. Like Julius has been fine as a rim protector. Fort, fair, but he's a 6'8" freshman who's like, 6'8", who like he really is a power forward who's just being thrust in the role of center. And he's been fine for what you expect of a kid you're asking to do way too much at this point.
Yeah. Think that's what I got for that game.
0%. Lidskin said Creighton beats Nebraska. I would put
0%.
it above. I put it above 0, but not much.
Well, we got to start. We got to start keeping track of this, Fetterman. My record in games that I guarantee.
Yeah, a couple games I'm keeping an eye on tomorrow, just for the sake of it. A&M and SMU.
I hate both those teams.
I do too.
Two teams that definitively will be in bubble conversations,
and neither should be. SMU, they're not good.
Can I make a note of something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Last year, we talked about a lot how good college basketball was at the top, but it was also like pretty deep at the high major level. Like there were a lot of really good high major teams. I think we still have a bunch of really good teams at the top this year. The like 11 through 25 range feels nowhere near as good as last year.
I feel like I hit this point every year where I believe every team sucks. I'm not there yet because like I still believe in like the teams that I think are underrated, but like ask me in a week and a half and I will believe 95% of the country sucks.
That would be great, like on 3 graphic. Just like a picture of Derosa. It just says does not. Like below.
All right, Jonathan, take us home.
If you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he's working, you came. What?
We forgot to do the fucking Perry Ellis thing. He has his own cologne.
Is that actually him?
I don't know. I just saw it in the. I'm watching a fucking game, and I'm watching the football game, and I just see an ad for. I just see Perry Ellis pop on my screen. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
No, like there is like a Perry Ellis company, and it's not like the Perry Ellis.
He's got to get. We gotta find a way.
Perry Ellis International was founded by George Feldenkrais.
Perry Ellis has what, 4 years left in college? We got to get him a deal with them for his college.
Dude,
program.
according to AI Overview, the basketball player Perry Ellis actually partnered with the Perry Ellis clothing brand for sponsorship deal around 16.
Fuck yeah. Yes. All right, we're back.
So this is his cologne.
All right, let's finish this.
There we go.
That's investigative journalism, as well as some other stuff we will do later. So if you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he's working, you came to the right place. And if you came to hear about Perry Ellis's cologne, you came to the right place. So if you came to hear about the latest happenings with Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. This has been season 6, episode 59 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. First episode of the season with the one and only Bubble of the Year, Michael Derosa. And we'll see you next time.